And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. Berkeley Trilene, the best-selling premium fishing line in America. Hotels Palmas de Cortez, Punta Colorada, and Playa del Sol in Baja's East Cape. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. The Bob Baker Auto Group and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa on Double X 1090.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray, back from the Great North, along with Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and we have a great guy in the studio, Jack Nielsen from Accurate Fishing Products. We're also going to do a tribute to our good friend Del Marsh, and it's going to be a great day today to have all kinds of great friends at Del's calling in and get your fishing information and, of course, talk some Accurate, too. So you stay tuned. It's going to be a great 2 hours of Southern California's sport fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup on Double X 1090.
Get the power of Shimano and save $50. That's right. Now when you purchase any qualifying Shimano Tiernos reel, you'll get a $50 rebate directly from Shimano. It's the Tiernos Power Rebate, and the offer is good now through September 30th. Choose the Tiernos 8, 10, 12, or 16 single or two-speed models and get $50 back on your purchase. The smaller size high-speed Tiernos 8 and 10 have a topless design with no top crossbar, giving you easy line access, and are available in both single and two-speed models. These reels are ideal for those that like a lightweight yet powerful small high-speed reel for big fish. Ideal for fishing Spectra type lines. The Shimano Tiernos 12 and 16 size reels also come in single and two-speed models. Ideal for fishing Spectra and deliver even more power for landing big fish. So get $50 back on these Shimano Tiernos reels now through September 30th. Get them at your local tackle dealer. For more information on the power rebate, visit Shimano.com.
The best fishing excursions start with the best equipment. My advice? Start with a new Ford F-150. Alex from La Jolla, you're next.
How you doing, Pete? I couldn't agree more about that new F-150.
Ah, a fellow Ford owner. So what was it that sold you?
Well, a lot of things, but I'll tell you, my fishing buddies and I, we really get a kick out of the tailgate step.
You know, that's a Ford exclusive.
Right. You just drop the tailgate, pull the built-in ladder out, and step right up.
Easy in, easy out.
Yeah, and nobody gets a hernia trying to unload heavy coolers, or heavy fish for that matter.
Why work harder when you can work smarter?
Exactly. They've got a kick step right there on the side of the truck, too.
Another Ford exclusive.
They had us in mind when they came up with that one.
Thanks for the call. Once each month, I'll be broadcasting this show live from one of our San Diego County Ford dealers. I'll let you know when we'll be in your neighborhood. I'll have some really nice fishing gear to hand out if you're one of the first to stop by and check out the new Ford F-150. Log on to SanDiegoCountyFord.com for more info or stop by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer. They'll be glad to hook you up.
When things get wild, like a giant yellowfin tuna or a blue marlin on the end of your line, you need a fishing line you can trust. Spool up with Berkeley Big Game High Test, a revolutionary copolymer line formulated for ultra strength, low stretch, and superior recovery. This is the edge you need. Captain Justin Fleck of the Excel says, this new high test is perfect for our type of fishing. Captain Steve Lasley on Bad Company says, we use Berkeley Big Game and the new high test for all our tournament fishing. Berkeley Big Game High Test. Fish in the zone.
This is the season to cast your line with H&M Landing. H&M Landing is running half-day fishing trips. 2 trips depart daily at 6:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. Premier, owned and operated by Captain Tim Green, is the state-of-the-art ultimate half-day fishing platform. At 75 feet long with a 23-foot beam, she's very comfortable, low to the water, and easy to fish. Premier delivers fun fishing, great service, and a great getaway, even if you're short on time. For ocean fishing, H&M Landing should be your choice. H&M is San Diego's most experienced sport fishing company, offering the best in half-day, 3/4-day island trips, full and multi-day trips. And now you can book your reservation online. Log on to hmlanding.com or call H&M Landing at 619-222-1144. The experienced angler's first choice in local and long-range fishing since 1935. In San Diego, it's H&M Landing. Call or log on today.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on Double X 1090.
All right. Hey, our good buddy, Jack Nielsen from Accurate Fishing Products is here. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Great. Well, first of all, let's talk about what's going on with you and the boys, the boys over at Accurate Fishing Products.
Well, they don't tell me all I'd like to know anymore. Ben Seacrest is the big honcho over there now, so I have to.
Ben Seacrest?
Yeah,
Who's that?
I have to report to Ben now.
Oh, you have to report to Ben?
Hey, Ben, do you think it'd be okay if we did this?
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, we got
That's scary, huh?
lots of new things going on. All the BX series extremes.
Now, what's that? The
Good question.
BX Series Extreme.
Let me call Ben. Wait a minute. No, that is an upgrade, basically, or the new generation of the B2 series Magnums. So those are 2-speed reels, and for instance, the BX2 Extreme 500 used to be the B2 870. So, and it basically the 4, 5, and 600 series relate to 40-pound, 50-pound, 60-pound line, and that's on our website. Just go there. You'll find everything.
AccurateFishing.com.
Yeah, and then we've got other,
God,
things.
aren't you impressed that he knows all this stuff?
No,
Are
just
you
barely.
kidding me? I got faith in my man.
Just barely.
No cheat sheet, mind you. There's nothing in front of him.
Well, yeah, I've got Dell right in front of me. I got Dell's smiling face there, looking at me.
There you go.
Yeah, the Dell thing is, quite honestly, has kind of put me to the sideline a little bit with what's going on with Accurate. I'm still in the loop, but Dell has really grabbed my attention here for the last month or so.
Sure. Yeah.
I apologize a little bit for not having the latest, because things do change that fast at Accurate.
Things are happening
Yeah,
now. I know you've been spending a lot of time at the hospital with Dell, and it's been a tough actually like couple months here. And what's going on with Dell?
Well, he's very ill, and he's putting up a really good fight. This is one tough bird, let me tell you, and he's been very uncomfortable at times, and it's very serious, and we're just all hoping and praying. I'm pretty much there every day. I was there till 10 o'clock last night, and same thing night before, and I just sit there with Dell, and we play our tunes on my iPod, and the staff there at the hospital at Veterans Memorial in Long Beach are really great people. I just want to thank Betty and Dr. Tom and all those people are really taking good care of our friend. In fact, today we have special permission from the hospital to have this radio show right now tuned into his room, and when we have it all set up, Kenny, his brother, is there. Betty, the floor manager, allowed us to do that. Thank you, Betty. Normally that wouldn't happen at that early in the morning, but so Dell is now listening to us with the show. I've got my computer in front of me here, and I'm running a slideshow for myself, so Dell has his own mic here. So it's almost like Dell is with us, which he is, but he's just in a different room.
Yeah, and Dell's not able to talk, though.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But he can hear. He can
hear.
He acknowledges you when you talk to him, right?
I go through all the stories. We don't cut each other any slack. Dell and I never have. So even though he's very ill, I still bag on him and complain to him and call him names, and he'll look at me, and I threaten to drink his Captain Morgan. I told him on the boat I have put a mark on the Captain Morgan so that when he gets back down on the boat, he'll know exactly how much Captain I owe him, and then when I tell him that, he gives me that look, that I know that look, what it means. It's almost like having a wife. She looks at you like, oh yeah, okay, I know that.
Well, we of course, the intention of this show originally was, of course, to celebrate Dell's 80th birthday, which is next Wednesday, which is also my birthday.
Your
we share
birthday.
the same birthday. I'm not 80. I'm 54, but you know,
live long enough, you will be.
He's going to be 80 on Wednesday, so happy birthday, Dell, and we do wish you were here, but we know you're here with us on the radio here, and we want you to get well and be able to celebrate your 80th birthday there for us, Dell. And so this is a part show is about Accurate, a part show is about fishing, of course. The whole show is about fishing.
Sure.
And a big part of this show is going to be a tribute to our friend Del Marsh. So.
Yeah, and CalStar too, because CalStar and Dell have been joined at the hip for many years. So if you got a CalStar question, you can call Jack, and I'll wing it.
Yeah, and we got the tackle expert here,
That's
Rock Cod
right.
Rick, too. He's a
the
professional in the business. So,
the cod man here. Sure.
He knows his stuff when it comes to CalStar, too. So
You'd help me out with the accurate stuff,
Got
would
you covered, brother.
Thanks.
yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take your phone calls. We're going to take several phone calls from some of Dell's friends and talk about fishing and have a good time
great
here
time.
in honor of Del Marsh, our good buddy who's suffering over there in the Long Beach Veterans Memorial Hospital, and just wishing him good wishes.
Speedy,
there.
yeah, you got it, for sure. Well, we'd love to have you be a part of the show. It's going to be a great time. And if you got a story about Dell that you'd like to share, or you got a question about fishing, Accurate, or CalStar, or anything in between, boy, we'd love to have you join us this morning. It's going to be a really fun show. And the best way to do that is with our local line. It's 858 area code 457-1090. Again, 858-457-1090 is our local line. You can also reach us toll-free, and that toll-free number is 877-792-1090. Again, 877-792-1090. Not only going to be telling a bunch of great stories and having fun today, Jack has been so nice to have a great prize at the end of the show today. One lucky caller at the end of the show is going to win a brand new Accurate Boss fishing reel, and you're going to get your choice of either a Boss 197 or a Boss 270. Awesome reel. I mean, we're talking over a $400 value. So,
Wow.
one lucky caller is going to have a great new reel at the end of the show today.
Did you check with Ben that was okay?
Well, okay, tentatively going to happen.
Well, considering you're the boss, I think you can pull strings on that.
I'm going to
one,
pull a few.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go ahead and jump right into our first Dell story. Hank in Long Beach. Hi, you're first up here, Hank. Good
Morning, Hank.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Hank, how are you?
Good. I've been a friend of Dell's for over 35 years, and he is one of the greatest characters we've ever had. Dell would get more out of less than any man I've ever known. He was always there for you. Yeah. If you ever needed any kind of a gear, he was always there to loan you his gear, although he would forget that he loaned it to you, and then come up and say that he lost it. You could never go anywhere with Dell. He's one of those guys that when you met him, you just couldn't help but to love him, man. We would go to JoJo's twice a month, and that's a bar in Long Beach, a beer bar, and we go have a Joe special and an egg and a 20-ounce schooner. And you'd never go in there without somebody running into Dell and knowing Dell. And then, of course, came the fish stories, which he was famous for, and he was going to tell you whether you wanted to listen or not.
And you probably heard him once or twice before, too.
But he'd forget. I've heard him more than one time. Just before he went into the hospital, we went to JoJo's and ordered up our food, and he looked at me and he says, I'm just not hungry. But for some reason, he downed that 20-ounce schooner.
How does that work, Quite a thirst on that man.
Oh, he was something. It's hard to talk sometimes.
That's okay. Hank, we're going to make you push aside a little bit because there's so many people backed up wanting to get in.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say was Jack, what a friend Jack is. He's there every day with Dell talking to him. We'd all need a friend like you, Jack.
That's for sure.
Well,
I agree with that. Thanks, Hank, for joining us this morning. Appreciate the call.
That's cool. And
Thanks,
that's
Hank.
just like you say. I mean, there's not one guy that's got everybody. I mean, you look at our phone, every single phone line is lit up, and every one of them wants to talk to Dell. So
there's a few guys that want to talk about Accurate,
That's
too.
true.
Yeah.
And one of those guys is Jillian, who's calling us from San Diego this morning. Good morning, Jillian. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Jillian.
Come to me, Jillian.
Are you there? Or Gillian?
Gillian.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I want to wish Dell a good recovery and hope he's comfortable while he's sitting there listening to us talking.
Yep, he's listening to you right now. He can't talk, but I bet you he's nodding his little head.
I'm sure he's hearing the thoughts of all of us out here. Jack, I wanted to tell you how fabulous the Accurate 270 is.
Wow.
I know that you know it, but I just had to call in and let you know it's a new one for me this year.
Oh, wow.
However, I've had some wonderful experiences with it. I've taken it on a couple of day and a half in this last couple of weeks, and you want a reel that's really going to work for you when you're in the pressure of fishing.
Yeah.
I put on a bluefin, took me all around the boat, and the crew...
They'll do that.
The crew kept wanting to take the rod from me. And finally, he said, I want to get my hands on a reel. I can't believe what you're doing with it. And he made some excuse, like, oh, I got to get around this person. Give me your rod. And so I let him have it for just a couple of minutes. And I said, okay, I need it back, etc. And I pulled in a fantastic bluefin.
Wow.
The week before, I was on another day and a half, and I pulled in a 35-pound albacore and took the jackpot.
Wow.
On the 270.
On that 270. I put it on a Seeker 670. It was a fantastic combination. 30-pound line, 50 fluoro, and 30-pound, 50 Spectra, 30-pound line, and 30-pound fluoro.
Nice
Perfect.
job.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gillian, we sure appreciate your call this morning. Glad you enjoy the reel, and most of all, getting out there and going fishing.
That's for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Let's go ahead and jump back in the phone.
You got it. How about we talk to Dick, who's calling us from San Diego this morning. Hi, Dick. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Pete. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Jack. And Del, heal up, buddy. We miss you every single day. I've known Del since the mid '50s, when I was a junior member, joining at 10 of the Gardena Valley Rod and Gun Club.
Is this Dick Burson?
This is Dick Burson.
Hey, Dick.
And I got to tell you, he's just one heck of a guy. So I'm gonna leave it at that and send lots of thoughts his way, and wish him a very speedy recovery. Del, get heal up for us.
All right. Thanks, Dick.
Dick.
Appreciate the call this morning. It does free up 858-457-1090. You also have toll-free number open. You want to talk about Accurate. You want to talk about Dell. You want to talk about fishing. 877-792-1090.
All right. How about we talk to Leroy now, who's calling us from Carlsbad. Hey, Leroy. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. How
Hi,
you
Leroy.
doing?
Good. Good morning.
Hey, I just want to wish Del the best. Don't know him, but sound like a heck of a guy. And then I wanted to ask about Accurate reels.
All right.
Sure.
On the Accurate reels, the smallest one you make, what is that number?
197.
And is that in 2-speed?
Yes, it comes in both single and 2-speed. The new series will be BX2 400, narrow.
And line capacity on that?
Now you're putting me up against it.
Now, are you going to fish braid or are you going to fish mono on that?
That's
Jack?
the thing. Capacity is almost a thing of the past now. It's just more a matter of if you want to fish regular mono or if you're going to fish, Spectra with a top shot. And if you are going to fish braid, how much of a top shot you want to fish. But
I just pulled it up on my beautiful website that my son David makes for me. And if you go 15-pound mono straight, you get 300 yards.
Wow.
If you go Spectra, 40-pound Spectra, you get 400 yards of Spectra, 40-pound Spectra. And if you go 50, you get a little bit less, but plenty of line, especially if you go on a Spectra setup.
Thank you much.
All right, Leroy, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right. How about we talk to Cliff, who's calling us from Lakewood this morning. Hi, Cliff. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, Cliff.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing this morning? Yeah, going down the Rancho Lane Arrow, there's a sign that says, "Who the hell's Del Marsh?" That's
right.
A real sign.
That's true.
Anyway, I wish Del the best and Jack, and every time we go to every event, I always see those guys together. So, and it's really a special event to see those guys talking great, especially in January when those big fish came in.
Yeah.
And they were checking those big fish out.
Yeah.
Anyway, just wanted to wish the best to Del, and that's it.
He's listening. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot for the call, Cliff. Appreciate that.
When we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. A lot of your phone calls. The phones are packed up. Everybody wants to talk fishing, talk about Del. We got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on Double X 1090.
You're listening to Southern California's favorite fishing show, Let's Talk Hookup. On Double X 1090. Listen online at hookup1090.com.
Your hook is one of the most important parts of your fishing tackle, and that is why you should use the hook that sets the standard for quality and innovation. Gamakatsu, as Japan's leading hook manufacturer and growing at an amazing pace, Gamakatsu is responsible for introducing a unique tempering process to give Gamakatsu hooks superior strength and durability. Plus, the conically needle-honed points stay sharp. Gamakatsu offers a hook for every fishing situation, including the finest one-piece ringed hooks, light wire, standard and heavy-duty live bait hooks, and the popular Nautilus circle hooks. Get Gamakatsu hooks at your favorite tackle store and stay connected to that fish of a lifetime.
I've learned a few things cruising this coastline the last 30 years. Let's be clear about it. Dumping sewage anywhere in our waterways pollutes the environment. It's simple. Remember to plan ahead. Boats with holding tanks must pull in and pump out at shoreside pump-out stations. If you have a boat without a holding tank, plan your trip to use shoreside restrooms.
Don't waste away our waterways. Proper disposal of sewage protects our waterways. Dump at the pump.
Hey, if it's your boat, it's your responsibility.
For more information, visit our website at boatresponsibly.com. Brought to you by the California Department of Boating and Waterways.
Fishing in Baja is red hot, and these days everyone is looking for a bargain. But you also want to catch fish. One place that consistently produces some of the finest fishing in the world and one of the best values in fishing has always been the Van Wormer resorts of Palmas de Cortez, Punta Colorada, and Playa del Sol in Baja's East Cape. For decades, the Van Wormer family has offered old-world Baja hospitality with all the modern amenities, plus some of the best fishing on the planet aboard the largest fishing fleet in Mexico. This year, the Van Wormer family wants to help stretch your fishing dollars even further. So they're offering prime-time fishing at great rates at Palmas de Cortez, Punta Colorada, Playa del Sol, or the new Villas de Cortez condos. You can get great rates and get the fourth night free when you fish 2 or more days in selected months. You won't find a better value on a fishing vacation than at the Van Wormer resorts of Palmas de Cortez, Punta Colorada, or Playa del Sol. For details and more information, call 877-777-TUNA or check the web at vanwormerresorts.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on Double X 1090.
All right, let's go ahead and jump back in the jam-packed phones, Rick. We got Jack Nielsen from Accurate Fishing Products.
You got it. How about we talk to Scooter? Scooter's calling us all the way from Colorado this morning. Hey, Scooter, welcome to the show.
Is this Scooter with the topsiders or the tennis shoes?
That's right.
The high tops.
Van Halen high tops. That's me. How you doing, Pete, Jack, Rick? How you guys doing?
Nice to hear from you, Scooter.
Very nice to hear from you.
Good to hear from you. Listen, first of all, you can't do any better than this combination of CalStar, Accurate, and Izerline International.
Yeah,
There you go. Now, to the matter of Del Marsh Black. I hope I can say this over the phone. Del, you're really starting to piss me off. That was a phrase we always had together. And it was always great doing the shows because I was right next door to Del in the Izerline booth and always joking. And he had a compassionate side, too. I can remember one trip we made on the Rooster, and we were both sitting on the stern, and Del's writing in this little book. I said, Del, what is that? He says, oh, it's my memoirs of all my fishing. Yeah, he's just Del, you're a great guy. You're an inspiration to so many of us. We all love you. We want you to get better. And Del, I called your house the other day, and Charles answered. He said he was doing the lawn. I was trying to get a hold of Perrette.
That's a little inside joke, folks.
I'm not going to take up any more time, Del. Just be strong, man. We all love you.
All right,
cool,
nice
Scooter.
to hear from you, Scooter, and glad you're doing well, too.
Thanks. Take care.
All right, good to hear from you.
How about we talk to John, who's calling us from a car this morning. Hey, John, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, how's it going? This is Schmidt.
Oh, it's Schmidt.
Hey, John.
Mr. Schmidt, what an
John
honor.
Klein from the Qualifier 105.
Hey, yeah, I got a little bit more respect for the callers. I've been sitting on this phone. It must have cost me $50 just to talk to you
Thank
guys.
God you're finally
getting back at me.
Thank God you're finally spending some of that money you made.
Well, I just thought I'd tell a little bit about Del Marsh because he's one of the first group of anglers that I met when I worked as a deckhand on the Holiday for Steve Giffen. Jerry Morris, Ron Rock, Butch Green, Del, that whole group was the first, my first impressions of long-range fishing, and I've kind of been ruined ever since. But just realized that Del was the quiet one of that group, and
wow.
Del was the quiet one?
Yeah, he actually was the quiet one. And some of my fondest memories is Palapa. I think it's number 4. I could never read the number because of Jack's refreshments at the Palapa, but sitting there in the evening just kicking back. That's some fine times right there with those guys. So I just thought I'd call and wish my well to Del, and thanks for doing all you've done, Jack.
Yeah, well, he's listening to you too, Schmidt. We got him hooked up with a radio in his room, so he's listening to the show. So
Well, the radio may be on, but he's never actually listened to me.
Wait a minute. Does anybody listen to you, John?
Yeah, I know it. It's really something there. So.
All right, John. John Klein, Qualifier 105. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a
Appreciate
great day.
it.
Thanks, John. How about we talk to Jason? Jason from Accurate Fishing Products is online. Hey, Jason. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Rick?
We're doing all right.
Jason.
Good. Hi, boss.
How you doing?
Is he doing okay? I mean, is he getting those accurate numbers right?
Yeah, actually, I've been listening the whole show. The only thing I think was the 197, and I've been listening carefully.
Okay, where'd he do? Correct him.
Critique me, Jason.
Oh, no, I was just kidding. Basically, I think the gentleman was asking.
Oh, you chickened out, didn't you?
197, yeah. I get about 200 yards of 50 Spectra down, then I top about 75 yards of about 20-pound test. You get about 50 yards of 30-pound test, so you're talking about 250 of 30 or about 275, close to 300 of 20-pound test.
Good.
All right.
Cool. Right on. Thanks,
Thank you,
Jason.
Sure. But yeah, well, I definitely wanted to talk about Del. I had a story myself. One time we were at the Catalina Classic over at Catalina, and there was probably about 40 guys trying to make this big giant marlin lure inside this little teeny hula hoop, probably, I don't know, 50 yards away or something. And we were all out there, and we were just trying, and everybody kept trying to make it inside this hula hoop, inside this little pool. And Del just came walking up and just picked up that 665 and that Calstar and just threw that marlin lure, and I mean, it landed right dead in the center the first time. And I mean, I don't know why I was amazed or blown away after all the stories that I've heard from Del, working with him for 7 years at all the trade shows and everything. But I was just so impressed with that ever since then, I don't know. I've always had so much respect for the man. I mean, I love you, Del, so much, and I just hope you, we have a chance to fish together. We never got to fish together, so I miss you. I miss you, Del, very much.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that very much. And, that was amazing. And keep in mind that this is when Del was like 77 years old.
Yep.
He was outcasting all the youngsters, all the hot shots.
I was going to say, not just average Joes. I mean, that was at the Catalina Classic, the biggest marlin tournament we have in California.
The top marlin guys on the West Coast. He outcasted
Billy
them all
Miyagawa,
at 77
Jr.
years
and all
old.
the
All right, Jason, thanks.
That's really cool. Hey, how about we jump right back into the phones and talk to Michael, who's calling us from El Cajon this morning. Or Michelle, good morning. Well, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys.
Hi, Michael.
First, I want to say, Del, hang in there. We're praying for you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then my question is I'm getting ready to go out on a one-day trip, and I'm just trying to find out what are the hottest colors that they're biting right now on the lures for trolling.
Ricky,
we the best jigs. I mean, again, obviously everything changed, but what we've heard the most about at the shop would be both the cedar plug. Cedar plug's been working really well. Also, the Zucker makes it's a vinyl skirt, just the standard albacore size, but it's a pink and orange. It's like an orange underskirt with a pink overskirt and a gold head, and that's been working really well. The black and purple and Mexican flag, certainly can't be beat. And also the Zucker zucchini has been really good, that grass-skirted zucchini. So if you were going to go back to troll one lure right now with all the yellowfin around and a little bit of bluefin, I think I would just probably stick with the cedar plug or the Zucker zucchini.
just a natural wood.
Yep, just the natural cedar plug or the Zucker zucchini. I don't think there's ever a tuna fishing trip ever that you couldn't make a catch with one of those, be it albacore, yellowfin, or bluefin.
What a week of fishing, too. I'll tell you what. Thanks for the call. Appreciate that, Michael. Of course, kind of took a dump yesterday, and but some of the boats, the offshore guys, the one-day guys, did pretty well.
There was definitely still some good
scores,
fish to be had yesterday. Yeah.
But you and Doug had quite a day on Wednesday on Doug's boat, on Doug's Parker, didn't you?
Yeah. We
Well, as long as you mention it.
we had a great one. It was awesome. You know,
Captain Doug Kern does it again, huh?
Great weather and great fishing.
And what'd you catch? Come on, bring it.
We at 7 o'clock in the morning we found a striped marlin, a sleeper, and we baited it and got it and released it. And then after that we found a huge area of tuna fish, and inside and below the 182 aways, and we caught bluefin, we caught yellowfin. It was just epic trip. Epic weather, epic fishing. It was just awesome. Released a marlin at 7 o'clock. The day couldn't be more made. Right when the sun was
released.
coming up.
Oh, by the way, we released a marlin on the 9 Mile bank, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was
wow.
It was fun because after a couple of trips of coming real close, we had jig bites and we baited tailors and baited feeders. It was finally nice to thread the needle on one. And we totally altered our game plan, wanting to. We're in a skiff, so in the afternoon when the wind blows and the fish come up in tail, we don't see them as well. So we said, well, we'll leave super early and we'll try and find a sleeper. And then so we totally altered our normal game plan, and it was one of those times when you make a plan and it just happens. We got out there really early so we could catch bait in the dark, and we got our bait no problem. And on our way out, sure enough, we found a sleeper, and he was willing to bite, and got a bait on him and got him released.
Very good.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
awesome. Yeah,
and that day, fish were biting 18 miles from Point Loma, yellowfin tuna, wide open, huh?
We were probably 15 miles from the point, and had just the biggest spots of yellowfin you could ever imagine. Porpoiseals, the turnbirds, crashing down on them, watching yellowfin just come and fly out of the water. I'll bet we ran on 25 spots of breaking tuna in the little boat. It was incredible. So
really good.
Good fishing to be had.
Really good.
Now.
Jack, you wouldn't even be able to finish your cocktail at 15 miles.
Yeah, you could. You
Wait
could.
a minute.
You could. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
And it was flat calm.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was the kind of day that you go fishing for.
Well, let's go ahead and jump back in the phones, Rick.
You got it. How about we talk to Stas? Stas is calling us from Torrance. Hey, Stas, good morning.
There's only one guy named Stas.
That's right.
He's like Madonna.
Yeah.
One name does it all.
It's Stas Velanakis. Good morning.
Good morning, Pete, Rick. Good morning, Jack. How you doing?
Great.
I'm good.
Nice
Stas,
to hear
thanks.
from you, Stas.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to send my best wishes out to Dell. Got a little story about Dell from, well, I don't want to age anybody here, but we're all getting there, and it is what it is. But we're on a Clipperton trip back in like mid-'80s, back when they first started running those things, the long ones, that you ride the boat down 7 days.
7 days,
You get a lot of trouble in 7 days riding the boat down.
I'll bet.
Well, they used to have skeet shooting. You'd get down below Cobble there and wait for a nice calm day, and everybody put in their money, and you'd shoot skeet off the bow. And there were some pretty good shooters, Loomis used to get into, he could shoot real well, and Butch Green. Well, we set up the skeet shooter deal, and we launched it off the skeet, and occasionally you'd get some booby birds around, and they were messing with the skeet. Well, here comes Dell. It's his turn to shoot. Everybody's done pretty well. Dell gets up there and pull. Immediately turns, gets rid of the booby bird, and then shoots the skeet.
Oh, it's an accident, right? It was an accident.
It was a total accident. He got confused on what he was supposed to be shooting at.
Well, they call them both birds, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, of course, then Frank chewed his butt out. That ended the skeet shooting. But Dell figured out. He just went to his next deal, and he brought a little swimming pool and filled up a swimming pool in the stern of the boat and sat in that the rest of the afternoon and had cocktails.
That's a classic, Stas. I can see him sitting in the pool having his cocktail.
Absolutely.
On the stern of the Royal Polaris. How about that? Huh?
That's it. You got
One and only Dell, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Stas, thanks for the memory.
Yeah, for sure. Dell, hang in there, buddy. We love you.
Appreciate it very much. That's great. Classic.
Hey, how about we talk to Eddie, who's calling us this morning from the Van Warmer Resorts. Eddie Dowmount. Good morning, Eddie.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you today?
You're doing
Good morning,
great. Good morning.
Eddie.
Good, good. Hey, I'm calling in for Chucky because Chucky decided to go out fishing and catch some fish for the hotel.
What?
Oh,
Fishing?
Excellent. Fishing. Hey,
That's right.
now, Eddie, you're based, you and Shannon are now down at Palmas, huh?
Yeah, we're actually at Palmas. We're going to be spending, a few months down here and a few months up in the States, running the office from both places because we still have things to do up there. So but right now we're currently down here at Palmas de Cortez, and we'll be here until the end of the month, and then we'll head back and spend September up in the States, and then we'll come back down for October and November. So I will be down here for the Let's Talk Hookup tournament.
Wow.
All right.
By the way, last I checked, we had a room or two left on that. Do we have anything left on that?
I checked last night because I knew I'd be calling you, and there's one room at Palmas, and there is a couple of rooms over at Playa del Sol. If we sell that room, there's a couple rooms over at Playa, and we still have a couple of condos over at the Villas de Cortez, which are real nice if anybody wants to stay there. But if you want to stay at Palmas, one room left, and it's a garden room, and that's all we got.
Wow. So that's October 14th through the 18th, our Let's Talk Hookup. I believe this is our 14th annual tournament. It's just lots of fun.
Wow, how time flies. 14 years.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
That's awesome, Pete. That's awesome.
So what's going on down there?
Hey, it's been a great week for yellowfin tuna. This week we had over 400 yellowfins caught, ranging in 20 pounds to about 110 pounds. So we are seeing some decent-sized tuna. While I was sitting on the dock yesterday, I saw the J&B come in with 4 nice-sized yellowfins, ranging in size from 60 to 70 pounds, all 4 of them. So they're real nice-sized fish. Most of the fish are being caught about 45 miles northwest of Palmas de Cortez, and some are being caught about 20 miles south of Punta Colorado. So either direction, you're going to catch some yellowfins. And they've been catching the yellowfins this week on cedar plugs, sardinas, and caballitos. So all of those 3 are working really well. We also saw some really good numbers on the Dorados this week. We saw over 550 Dorados landed this week, ranging in size from, I'd say, about 15 pounds all the way up to about 45 pounds. And most of the Dorados that were being caught to the south. Some were caught 20 miles south of Punta Colorado near Los Frailes, and some guys went as far down as the Gordo Banks. But those who did go down to the Gordo Banks came back with some pretty decent numbers. And as far as bait for the Dorado that they've been using this week, I talked to some people. They said that they were catching them on dead ballyhoo, Dorado lures, and some small marlin jigs is what they've been using. The marlin fishing, though, has been up and down. Some days better than others, but we did see some decent numbers on the sales, which was about 35 sales landed this week. The wahoo fishing continues to be consistent, with at least 1 to 2 wahoo coming in every day. So that's good to see. Some of the other species that we saw were the blue marlin, the striped marlins, but not in any great numbers. We did see some, for those who targeted, we did see some decent numbers on pargo, cabrilla roosters, pompanos, and jacks. So all in all, the fishing has been pretty good down here, Pete, and we're just waiting for you to get down here.
Right on.
I can't wait, man.
That's awesome.
It sounds awesome. And, of course, if you want to go on our Let's Talk Hookup Palmas de Cortez Fall Spectacular free tournament, including a trip to Palmas to defend your title the following year. 1 room left, as he said, and, of course, lots of other space available. How do we get a hold of you?
Hey, just give us a call here Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 877-777-TUNA, and that's 877-777-8862. And also visit our website at www.vanwarmerresorts.com. And, hey, Rick, when are you coming down here?
I'm ready, man. We're trying to put a trip together for the fall. It'll be sooner rather than later.
Excellent. Can't wait to see you guys down here.
All right, Eddie. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate that, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Eddie.
Very good. All right. Let's go ahead and jump back on the phones.
All right, you got it. How about we talk to Luke, who's calling us from Laguna Niguel this morning. Hey, Luke. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Oh, good morning, Pete, Rick, and Jack. And I want to keep on the theme of talking about Dell. It must be the day for the Bursons because my brother called in a little while ago.
Yeah, we got him.
And Dell, we know you're listening, and it sounds like Kenny's right there with him. And we want you to know that the entire Burson family is thinking about you every day. Also, our mom, Rose, asks about you every time we talk. And so you've got all our attention. Hey, on the Dell front, I refer to him as just an icon for the sport fishing industry in Southern California. And most know of him through the show or through CalStar or through Accurate. But, he's really a world-class angler. And not everyone knows the things he's accomplished. I think people have talked about the grander, and, he brags about it being the smallest grander ever caught. And that large rainbow last year down under. But he's done some other stuff that's very, pretty noteworthy. He's had 2 world records, one for a thresher and one for an amberjack.
See, I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't know that. Have you ever seen his picture of his grander, by the way?
I do. I do every place I go. Yeah, I don't know many people that have caught 60-pound white sea bass. Yeah. He's caught a bunch of them, but not from a stinking boat, from the surf.
From the beach,
60-pound sea bass from the surf, and not one or two. We're talking bunches.
Oh, yeah.
And then he dedicated a chunk of his life to catching a 3-pound barred perch out of the surf.
He said he went through 3 wives to try to do that.
He fished every day after work in that quest, and that was back in the 60s, and he finally got it.
Yeah.
Now, I want to end on a note on the casting. You heard about the tournament, and the reason Del can cast so well, he's probably casted 1 million times in the surf, but in this club that Dick talked about, that Dick and I both grew up in the 50s and 60s, after a perch tournament, we would have a casting tournament, and the rules were simple. You got 5 casts on the sand. This was dry with a little bit of water. 5 casts on the sand. For a cast to qualify, it had to be within a 30-foot lane, and then you averaged your best 3. The top rating was over 115 yards. Bill nailed it. 115 yards on dry surf with a Penn 200, and he was greater than 115 yards, which classified him at the top of the class.
Master caster.
I'm not surprised.
I challenge anyone to walk down to a field today with a dry outfit with a little water and cast 100 yards. So
it's a long
what he does with a rod and reel in his hand is pretty magical. So I think of him as an icon. He's world class as a fisherman. He's world class as a representative for the industry. But those of us who've been fortunate enough to call him a friend, he's a world-class friend. So, Del, we're thinking about you. We miss you, and we know you're going to get better.
Good words, Luke.
Awesome.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate that.
That's very cool. Hey, it's time now to find out what's biting, and we're going to do that with that fishdope.com report. And today it's sponsored in part by the XL, the world's largest sport fishing boat, owned by long-range pioneer Captain Bill Poole and operated by Captain Justin Fleck. There's still a few spots available on summer and fall trips, so you can call XL Sport Fishing at 619-223-7493 or on the web at xlsportfishing.com. And in addition to the summer and fall trips, they've got a couple of day-and-a-half schedules.
Wait a minute. A day and a half on the XL?
On the big boat, yeah. So if you want your shot to go on basically like you hear, the biggest...
The world's largest sport fishing boat.
Day-and-a-half trips. They leave September the 5th and September the 7th at 1 p.m. They're 1 p.m. departures. And for information on those, you can just call Fisherman's Landing. It's area code 619-221-8500. Or that is a trip that you can book online at fishermanslanding.com. And how about that? A day and a half on the XL.
Over Labor Day weekend.
You got it.
You can't miss that. So call Fisherman's Landing or go online and book that. It's going to fill up quick.
Yeah, that's for sure. In the meantime, we got Jason online from fishdope.com. Good morning, Jason.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Jason. What's going on out there?
Well, this week we've had some pretty good yellowfin tuna fishing. Just 20 miles out of San Diego. They came right up the inside and they're sticking around. This weather came in this weekend and kind of pushed everybody back to port this morning. But as soon as this weather clears out, it should just go stupid. Real good fishing. There's also some Dorado on kelps, right past the 9 Mile Bank. Tuna are coming up on cedar plugs, spreader bars, small jet heads, normal stuff. Look for the birds on the porpoise, just birds in general, fish jumping out of the water, meter marks. It's just textbook tuna fishing. Out at San Clemente Island, Pyramid Cove, still kicking out some slug yellowtail. Some private boaters we sent out there this week. They went out on a fish dope report, ended up with 3 or 4 nice-sized 25, 35-pound yellowtail. They're fishing 40-pound test with a dropper loop and live squid. You're getting the squid from jigging on the squid grounds there. There's still a little bit of spots of squid around. They're also starting to take some fin bait and the iron out there, which is a good deal for the guys coming out of San Diego. We got some yellowtail down the beach off Rosarito Beach. 15 to 22 fathoms. There's some barracuda mixed in. Look for the birds and do some running and gunning. And that stuff about Del, I've been listening the past couple of weeks, and everybody's really impacted by Del. And on our other website there, bloodydex.com, there's a post going on about Del, and you can just see the thousands of people that he's changed their lives with just meeting this guy.
Yeah, that's a good one. bloodydex.com, and so there's an actual, just a whole thread for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys just giving them props. I hope somebody prints it out or brings a laptop in and shows them, because
I will. I'll do that.
really
Promise
impacts
you.
a lot of people's lives.
Yeah,
That's
I'll see him today. I'll do that.
That's really
Cool.
All right, Jason, we'll appreciate a great report. And if somebody wants to keep in touch with all that great information on fishdope.com, how do they do it?
Hey, fishdope.com.
Dial it up. It's great info. We appreciate it very much. We'll look forward to hearing from you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Jason, thanks a lot for
Thanks,
that. And
Jason.
again, that report was also sponsored in part by the Sato Crimp and Winder Company, where they only make products that work. Hey, the fall season is just around the corner, and the Sato Crimp Kit has become the must-have piece of gear for your fall long-range trip. It's the preferred connection method on the Royal Star, Royal Polaris, American Angler, and most of the other top boats. If you haven't already, you should make it your preferred connection. From Spectra to Mono or Fluorocarbon, you can get it at selected tackle stores like Angler Center, The Longfin, Fisherman's Landing Tackle, or at SatoCrimpandWinder.com.
Hey, I might mention, too, tomorrow on Let's Talk Hookup, 7 to 9 a.m., Mr. Gary Big Fish Sato from the Sato Crimp and Winder Company will be in the studio with us talking big fish fishing. So you don't want to miss that. Tomorrow morning, Gary Big Fish Sato right here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Connection wizard for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls. You stay tuned. We're having a great time here with Jack Nielsen from Accurate Fishing Products. We got more Let's Talk Hookup when we return on Double X 1090.
And I'm out here for the good Lord's sake.
You're listening to Southern California's favorite fishing show, Let's Talk Hookup. On Double X 1090. Listen online at hookup1090.com.
For over 5 decades, Lee Palm Sport Fishing has set the standard in long-range fishing that they pioneered long ago. The Red Rooster 3 sets a new standard of excellence. The Red Rooster 3 is one of the most modern, quiet, and fastest long-range vessels in the fleet. They have handpicked the finest crew to make your trip a memorable one. The Red Rooster 3 offers trips from 3 to 18 days and runs year-round to the best fishing spots on the planet. Ride the Red Rooster 3 once and you'll be back again. Call the Red Rooster 3 at 619-224-3857 or see them on the web at redrooster3.com.
I'm boater and angler Sepp Hendrickson. And I'm professional bass angler Kent Brown. Most people know us as anglers first, but whenever you're on the water in a boat, even if you're out there to catch that kokanee, you're a boater first, which means you gotta wear a life jacket. You don't need to wear one that's bulky or could make it tough to reel in a largemouth. You know, with today's life jackets, you barely know you're wearing one until it counts. So, wear it, California.
This message brought to you by the United States Coast Guard and the California Department of Boating and Waterways.
It's time to get excited about summertime fishing, and Point Loma Sport Fishing has everything you'll need. They offer half-day and three-quarter-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips on a daily basis, targeting larger seasonal surface fish. Visit their website at pointlomasportfishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627.
This is Sam Patel of the American Angler. Early summertime fishing is here, and we have spots open on upcoming trips. This is your chance to join us for a long-range experience that is affordable with potential for a great variety.
Hi, I'm Brian Kiyahara. Sam's right. We do have a few spots available on trips ranging from day and a half to 8-day trips.
So give us a chance to hook you up on the American Angler. Once you go with us, we know you'll come back.
Don't forget to call Lori at the American Angler office at 619-223-5414.
Brian, don't forget the website, AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on Double X 1090.
All right. Jack Nielsen, Accurate Fishing Products, getting some great fishing information here, talking some great Dell stories, and let's go ahead and jump back into it.
Hey, you got it. How about we talk to Eric? Is that right? Are you calling all the way from Kona this morning, Eric?
Hey, good morning, you guys. Hey, I'm up here in Costa Mesa helping my mother out. She's kind of in the same situation as Uncle Dell. Hey, Uncle Dell, man.
Uncle Dell,
Aloha,
yeah.
nui loa. I got a real good story about Uncle Dell's grander. I was supposed to work. He fishes on the Medusa in Kona, Hawaii for quite a few years. Captain Rondagi and Kaiser and everyone knows, your situation, man. And they all send their love, man, from Hawaii. And it was funny because they came in and I watched the weighmaster weigh that grander up, and I'm sitting there just going, geez, well, they had it at 987, and we're just going, boo, 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 give them 1,000 pounds, And it was funnier than hell because, excuse my language, but they did an overnight trip down south, and they had a bunch, if you go into the Longfin tackle store, they had a bunch of bugs that Captain Kaiser caught. And Uncle Dell's going, I don't care about the fish. I want to go eat these bugs, man. It was great, man. It was so old time. And I just wanted to say, right on, Uncle Dale, you're going to be fine, bro. And I want to tell Jack, I was on the June Heat trip. I was fortunate enough to go on that with your charter master, Leo.
Oh, yeah.
And it was absolutely incredible. And I want to thank you again for the loaner tackle. And Leo was absolutely incredible. I sent some pictures to your shop that I took of Leo cranking on fish.
I got him.
Yeah, down at Clarion. Yeah, right, roger that, man.
Jack, it's a lot of fun to go fishing with.
Oh, yeah.
We try. We try.
Well, Eric, appreciate the Dell memory there. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
That's real cool. All right, well, hey, let's jump right back into the phones and talk to Bob, who's calling us from San Clemente this morning. Hi, Bob. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
This is the Dart calling over.
Dart!
Oh, hey, Dart, good morning.
What are you doing in San Clemente?
Well, I'm up here camping out in an RV with the family, and there's a wedding going on up here, so this is my time to enjoy the out of doors without water.
That boy.
Hey, Jack, Ricky, and Pete, I just wanted to tell you that Del Marsh is a long, long close friend. We go back to the early 70s. I was a second license on the Searcher with Captain Frank Presti, and we went down to the islands, and we had the usual suspects, including Ronnie Rock and Jerry Morris and Butch Green, and Dell was there pulling on what turned out to be about just under a 200-pound yellowfin, and he was getting worn out. And I was watching him. I was there with him, waiting for him to get the fish up to gaff, and I kept looking at his face was red, and he was mumbling, and I said, "What's the matter with you, Dell? That's just a little fish. It's not one of those big guys we're looking for. This is a piece of cake." Dell looked at me, and his eyes kind of rolled up in his head, and we finally got it up, and I stuck a gaff in it, and we got a couple of more in there, threw them on the deck, and I said, "See, I told you it was a little." And he goes, "I don't know what you're talking about. That was no piece of cake."
Well,
for about 25 years after that, or longer, Dell and I used to talk about that fish and talk about how it was a piece of cake. So
yeah.
I want Dell to know that what you got going right now is just a little one, Dell. It's going to be a piece of cake to get beyond it. So just keep pulling on it, and you'll get it on deck.
That's
cool, Dart.
I also got one other quick story. I took my wife and my two sons to Hawaiian Islands for my oldest son, Rob, to go surfing, and we were at the pipeline, and I was up on the beach with a tripod and a movie camera taking pictures of Rob surfing the pipe, and some guy walked up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder, and he goes, "Hey, you know anything about these cameras? I want to try to figure out how to use this camera." And I turned around, it was Del Marsh.
Of all places, huh?
He was staying at a house right there on the beach, and he invited me up onto his deck, and I got the most outstanding videos of Rob surfing the pipeline. Talk about running into a guy anywhere in the world. It was the pipeline, and that was Del Marsh.
Yep.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
All right, Dart, enjoy your time communing with nature.
Yeah, it's kind of a crummy day, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, Dart, make it better. Thanks a lot.
Del. Hang in there, buddy. We love you.
All right, appreciate the call this morning. That's very cool.
How about we talk to Doug now this morning, who's calling us from Montebello. Good morning, Doug. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi. I never met Del Marsh, but I send him my regards. And for Jack, on those accurate spinning reels, how'd you come up with the reel handle design?
Trial and error. That's pretty much our very scientific method. We make it. The boys make it in the shop. We put it on reels for people to try. They come back and say, "Nope, thumbs down. We'll try something else." And finally, we'll come up with a, design that seems to suit most people. But there are other options on handles too. We try to have 2 or 3 different options.
And that's one of your key jobs. See, people don't think that
That's
Jack's
right.
working.
There you go.
You're a
There you
field
go.
tester,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, people think he just sits around and, hangs out and goes on fishing trips. He's out there field testing.
I hope
it's a difficult
Dave
job.
and Doug are listening to that.
Yeah, it's a fair, and I can relate. I just got back from a field research job to
You
Alaska,
go.
and
Sure.
you got to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Doug, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Appreciate that very much. Speaking of our trip to Katmai Lodge in Alaska, we had a great trip, and you want to read about it, see some great photos there. It's up on our website, front page of our website, hookup1090.com. Just scroll down there. You'll see the Rancho Leonero banner. Then right below that, a little bit of talk about Alaska and a fabulous, fabulous destination. I love Alaska, and it's just incredible. So you want to read about that? There it is, hookup1090.com.
All right, well, hey, let's jump right back into the phones, and we're going to start it off with Brian, who's calling us from Tustin this morning. Hey, Brian, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, just best wishes for Dale, and hope everything works out all right. Hey, I wanted to ask Jack, if I was to start out with one accurate reel, all around for, say, sea bass, tuna.
Yes.
A little offshore stuff, what reel would it be?
I would go with a BX2 500. And I would put 50 or 65 pound Spectra on it, say 300 yards, and you could fish that reel anywhere from 20 to 60 pound top shot. So you pretty much got it covered for the.
And the line capacity, what kind of line capacity does that have?
I'm guessing a little bit but you can go to www.accuratefishing.com and give you all that data, but you're going to get let's just say how I set mine up is 300 yards, a 65 pound Spectra, and I'll get another 50 to 100 yards of top shot depending on what size top shot you're using. So you get plenty of line.
I'm impressed. What do you think, Ricky?
Dude, it's dead on.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, let's get back into the phones and talk to John Ireland is calling us this morning. John, hey,
it's not Sunday.
I called a day early for wish my best to Del and say hello to Jack. I'm privileged enough and lucky enough to have been friends with both Jack and Del over the years, and what a special guy Del is. People don't really realize that he touches everybody that's around him, and he just loves people. We've been at my hotel in the dining room, and Jack will attest to it. And Jack and Del were just down fishing a couple months ago, and there's literally no one at the hotel that he hasn't gone up and introduced himself to and made friends with, literally. So he's just a special, special guy, and like I said, I'm very privileged to know him and Jack, and wishing him the best. He's a tough guy, and I have no doubt that he's going to weather the storm and be back with us, be back fishing here very soon.
John, we got the radio going in his room right now, so he's listening. So it's.
No, I have no doubt, Jack. I expect a good end to this story, and like I said, what a special guy. He really, really is. And you just listen to all the callers calling in. There's very few people that touch everyone like Del does. He's a very special guy.
I remember one quote from you a few years ago. You said that Del makes a happy bar.
He does.
That's good.
He's just such a positive, good guy. Very direct. He's exceptional. He really is, and I miss him, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing him again and have many more fishing days coming up.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. John, thanks a lot for the call this morning. We're still going to talk to you tomorrow.
You betcha. I'll call you in the morning.
And let's wish Jennifer, your lovely wife, happy birthday, which is her birthday tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow's her big day.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks, John. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, hey, let's get back into it. And how about we talk to Bob, who's calling us from Santee now. Hey, Bob, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, Pete, Rick, Jack.
Hey.
Hi, Bob.
Like Doug, I've never fished with Del, although I've met him at the Fred Hall shows over the years, and he is quite a character. And I would have liked to have gotten a chance to fish with him, and hopefully I'll get a chance to fish with him.
Let's hope so.
We've included him in our prayers at night.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's kind of a tough thing, it really is. But on the positive side, Jack, I've got a 270 XC and an 870 XC, and I tell you what, those are just absolute winches of reels. I mean, even with a 6-to-1 gear ratio, my last overnight trip, I winched up a 39-pound albacore in 2 minutes on that thing.
Well, you know how to fish. Now, there has to be a good angler behind that rig too, so that's a compliment to you as well as the gear.
Well, actually, there was a lady from the Ronnie Kovac Fishing School and who had a back issue, and so she was always fishing with her rod and rail. I'm like, oh, that makes things a whole lot easier.
Atta boy, use your
tools.
The
rail is your friend.
That's right.
The rail is your friend.
That's right. I love that rail.
Alrighty. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Bob, thanks a lot for the phone call. Hey,
all right, appreciate that very much.
All right, hey, let's talk to Steve, another caller calling us all the way from Kona. Hey, Steve, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Mr.
Hi,
Kaiser.
Steve Kaiser, who runs the Medusa in Kona. Owns the Medusa in Kona. One of and that was that, Steve. Is that the boat that Del caught that supposed grander on?
That's the one.
Well, nice to hear. It's a little early over in Kona. Thanks for getting up.
Yeah, well, he's a special guy.
Yes,
That's really cool,
for
Steve.
sure.
We got the radio hooked up in his room, Steve, so he can hear you. So watch what you
great.
say. Be careful, okay?
Yeah, don't say anything too nice.
Yeah, well, we've been good mates for about 30 years, and he's caught marlin with me down in New Zealand, and as you know, he caught that fish with me over here in Kona. But that's sort of a whole other story. I've got another sort of a classic Dell episode that I want to tell you about now. It was, I guess, the late 80s. It was the Crystal era when Bob Cornelius owned the Crystal, and we had just come back from a shakedown cruise in Alaska, and Bobby needed some machinery taken down to his house in Cabo. So Dell and I and a young fellow from Alaska took off in a dually and headed to Cabo. Well, we finally got down to the Sea of Cortez, and I pulled over and sprinted across the beach and jumped in that water. Man, I hadn't been in warm water for quite some time. So we're all in there splashing around, having a good old time, and all of a sudden Dell yells, something bit me, something bit me. So we all jump back on the beach and look at his foot, and sure enough, he had stepped on a stingray. Fortunately, it didn't hit him in the middle of the heel, but it kind of went up the inside of his heel and ankle. So we jumped back in the truck and headed down to Santa Rosalia.
Yeah.
So it was a Sunday morning, and, we figured it was going to be difficult to probably find a hospital. But anyway, I asked Dell if it's starting to hurt, and he says no. So, I handed him a bottle of tequila and told him to take a couple of shots.
Yeah,
I figured it was gonna, And so we finally get to town and ask where the hospital is. We get up there, and it's moved, So
it's moved.
A couple more shots of tequila. We finally find the place. Dell and I go into the place and leave Buck in the car to kind of watch the truck and all the gear. And there's just this one little Mexican nurse and her friend on duty. So I tried to explain to her, that he stepped on a ray and needed to be cleaned, and leave her with him, and went back to the truck to see if Buck was okay and send him in to be with Dell. Well, in a few seconds, he's back out with his eyes like saucers and said, "I better get in there. She's trying to stab him." I go, "What?" So I run inside, and here's Dell against the wall trying to defend himself with a pair of forceps from this little Mexican nurse who's got this hypo big enough to take down an elephant. So we get things calmed down, and Dell's on the table, and he's telling me he's not to go. Don't you go. So I said, "Don't worry, Dell, I'm right here," And so the nurse very carefully and fastidiously stands over his heel and starts pumping some of this anesthetic into his foot, Well, like after the first cc, Dell's foot was numb and he was happy, but she just kept pumping more and more into that heel until it was bulging. And, I'm going, Basta, that's enough, And, well, she pulls the needle out, and there was so much pressure in the heel that it just fountained a stream of anesthetic right into her mouth.
Oh, jeez.
And I mean a lot right in her mouth.
Oh.
By the time she spit it out and shook it off, her tongue was completely numb and didn't work, and all she could say was blah, 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 blah.
Classic.
By now, we're all in hysterics, Dell.
Oh, yeah.
Dell's revenge.
Oh, yeah. We're laughing so hard, it's great. And so finally she finished tightening up his foot, but she's been drooling on it the whole time, as you can imagine. And at the end of it, she wouldn't accept any money, and I don't know if she was embarrassed or she just had such a good time she didn't want it. So, and I'm kind of feel we both had the feeling that after we left, she probably squirted some of that in her friend's mouth so they could have a better time.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good story, Steve. How's the fishing in Kona?
It's been up and down. It's been pretty good lately. There's a tournament going on this weekend, that one of the Tropidilla tournaments, and there was a 5.25 caught and several fish tagged yesterday, so there'll be some more fish today.
All right, you going fishing today?
Not today. I have the class in CPR and first aid. It sounds like fun, doesn't it?
Oh, can't wait. All right, Steve Kaiser from the Medusa in Kona, Hawaii. Appreciate the call this morning.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, take care.
That's cool. Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup at Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice on Double X 1090.
Check out our website, hookup1090.com. Listen live, hear archives of previous shows, sign up for our email blasts, and more.